Hello, everyone. My guest today is Nicholas Dorn. He's the co-founder of the SaaS company FileStage, which is a solution web application that makes it easy to share, comment, and approve videos, designs, and documents, allowing customers and colleagues to mark change requests directly online in the file. This helps to avoid long feedback rounds via email. Before that company, he used to work in different companies around marketing, advertising, and e-commerce. In that time, he experienced how time-consuming and painful the content review process could be, especially when done via email. That's what led him to FileStage. Nicholas, are you ready to take us to the top?
Yeah, definitely. Yes.
This is definitely a problem. I think as people create more of their own content, everyone goes back and forth via email with their designers for changes and things like that. And it is scary bad sometimes. So tell us what you guys do and how you make money.
Yes. As you introduced myself, so I used to work in marketing, and that's how we started. And main problem we had back then was, yes, we produced content like amazing videos, designs, flyers, brochures, everything like that. And actually, it was sent via email. And in the end, you had to send like an email back and forth, 40 emails for just 1 minute of video. And everybody was driving nuts, actually. And we said, okay, why isn't there a good tool, an efficient process, a nice workflow? And that's how we started FileStage. And today, FileStage, you can imagine it a bit like a Dropbox. So it's super easy and intuitive to use. It's a web application. So you can basically just drag and drop your files into FileStage. Then you can share a link, for example, to a video you just dropped there. And then you can discuss all together your video and give feedback within the video just in the file.
Yep.
And you can approve it, accept it, and so on. Yeah.
And so customers today, I mean, is this a pure play SaaS company? And if so, what are they paying to you on month per average?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's a pure SaaS company. And we started actually pretty small. So we started with freelancers, small agencies, and so on. And then we grew from there to bigger agencies, to marketing departments. At the moment, like the typical smaller agency is paying around $100 a month, and the enterprise is paying more than its custom plans.
If you took just an average, just to avoid every customer cohort, is $100 a month a fair average, or is it a bit higher?
I would say overall it's a fair average, because we also have like smaller ones, but yes, we also have these peaks. Yeah.
Great. And take me back to day one. So what year did you launch the company in?
Sorry?
What year did you launch the company in?
When year?
What year did you launch the company in?
Okay, sorry. Yeah. In 2015, yeah.
2015. And I mean, where was your head at that point? You were doing a lot of professional services work, marketing, advertising, e-commerce stuff, or did you like quit a full-time job to jump into this?
Yeah, basically it was right after my master's. So I used to work before, then I did another master's in marketing, and that's where I met like the connection with my co-founder. And from this we started both. So he has like a background in advertising and the film industry, and he always had this problem himself. So we well connected like at this moment, and we said, okay, we started. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so 2015, and then what have you scaled to today in terms of total customers?
We have a customer base of around 400 paying customers, so teams.
Okay.
And then there are like 60, 70, 80,000 users, so people that review and work with FileStage.
That's great. So if 400 customers at $100 ARPU, is it fair to say you guys are somewhere around 40 grand a month right now in revenue?
More or less, yeah.
Okay, more or less. And give me a sense of growth rate, since you're still kind of early, but take me back a year ago. What were you doing a year ago?
A year ago, we were like, I don't know, making maybe 5,000 MRR or something.
Oh, really?
So we had a really big jump, yeah.
So what's driven most of that growth? How are you getting new customers?
So main acquisition channels at the moment are really like cold mailing, so automated cold mailings. And the other thing is like really like getting referrals from customers, really what works well for us.
How do you incentivize that? How do you drive that behavior?
At the moment, we have one simple thing actually. We just say, hey, if you bring us a new customer, you get one big bottle of champagne from us. And so far, it worked pretty fine. So actually, people are just like, hey, we like you so much, we just recommend you. It's fine. We don't need like incentives, but for sure, we're working on something to push this even more. Yeah.
How many bottles of champagne have you shipped?
Around 20, maybe.
20. Okay, so pretty good. And so when you look at kind of your fully weighted customer acquisition costs, what would you say your CAC is? What's your cost to acquire these customers all in?
So actually we have like at the moment we have zero marketing spendings at external costs. So no Facebook advertising, anything like that. So zero here, and then we have internal costs. And this is like we have two full-time people doing marketing for us. And then it's me in sales and another person in sales.
Yeah. So when you add up like, all the salaries of people related to sales, plus the champagne you're sending out, right? Plus any referral fees or kickbacks. And then you divide that into the number of new customers you guys land per month. What is your CAC right now fully weighted?
Last time I calculated was around, I think 300, 400 euros.
Okay. Well, look, that means your payback period then is what? Somewhere around, you get that money back in about 4 months. Is that accurate?
Yep.
Okay. And
so we are really like, bootstrapped and lean here. So
I was just going to say that. So you're totally bootstrapped right now, right?
Almost. So we landed like a German investor last year, which enabled us to really grow the team. And before we were just like the 3 founders and a couple of interns. And this way we really could build like the team. And it's a German investor, but it was not like a really large investment.
How much did you raise?
600K.
Okay,
euros.
600. That's still a pretty healthy amount. So 600 raised, and then what's the team size today?
Around 11 people.
Okay.
Full time, and then a couple of other people. Yeah.
And you said 4 of you, 2 of you got them are full time on sales, plus you and one other person. So 4 are kind of sales. Break down the rest. Are the rest engineers?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's like one person that is half like sales and half customer success. Then 5 people, in development. Then we have 1 in UX. Yeah.
Got it. And churn is obviously critical in a SaaS company. Tell me about your churn.
Honestly, we have like 2 symptoms we recognize. So actually, we had like a rather high churn on freelancers and smaller accounts.
What's high? Are we talking like 8% a month?
High. 6%, 7%, something like that. And then we really went like into data, and we talked to the people, because as a founder, you're really like, oh my God, why do they churn? Why do they don't use it anymore? So, and 50% of these users said, hey, we really like that software, but we actually run out of projects. And for us, this was like a signal to say, okay, maybe it's better to focus on like bigger clients where they have like continuous business to work on with 5Stage. And in this sector, we have like a churn rate of 2% to 2.5%, something like that.
And that's gross logo churn per month or revenue churn?
The first was like revenue churn, yes, with the smaller ones.
So 6% revenue churn?
7%, yeah.
Okay, and is that gross or net?
How do you define it?
Is it before or after you add an expansion revenue?
It was after. Yeah.
Okay, so that's a net number then.
Yeah.
Okay, and just to be clear, like in a year, if you churn at a gross level 10% of your revenue, that would mean you have 90% gross retention. But if you upsell your current customer base by 20%, well, you take the 20% and minus the 10% loss, so your net expansion is still 10 plus. So just to be clear, your net revenue churn per month was 6 to 8% in the smaller cohort.
Yes. Yeah. Correct.
And it was 2 to 3% in the enterprise cohort.
Definitely.
Monthly. Okay. And what are you doing to drive those numbers down or up? How do you make them better?
So one strategy is really like, first of all, focus on the product. So the better the product, the less churn you have. I think that's the number one thing. The second thing is
that's relative though, right? Like that's the whole problem, right? Though is you might think like, what does better mean? How does better actually equate to stickiness?
Better for us means it's easier to use, and it's actually completely solving the problem somebody has. So it really fits like the pain. So that's the number one thing.
But what if it's perfect, but the enterprise customer still runs out of projects? They're still going to cancel even if it's the perfect product.
I think then you don't solve a real problem. So whenever you solve a problem that has like business relevance, then people shouldn't run out of problems. Otherwise, it's just like a minor problem you solve. Well,
see, like it's an interesting question because like you could argue like what you're doing should not be a SaaS pricing model, right? Because you actually are solving a very real problem. I know this problem, but I also don't run projects 24/7, so I wouldn't pay monthly for it, but I'd pay per project or per something like that. So like when you have an enterprise account that is like addicted to you when they're doing a new video release or something, you've built a perfect product for them. It must be so frustrating to then see them churn when they're telling you we love the product. Like that's the worst place to be in, because then you don't know what to do to fix it if they tell you it's perfect. How do you handle that frustration?
So basically for enterprise clients, we haven't had it because they never run out of projects that we recognize.
But you said you have 2 to 3% churn.
Yes, but in enterprise, we never had any churn so far. Let's say in mid-market, we had, yes, so agencies and so on. But these were then people that were like saying, okay, it doesn't fit with our customer base. We don't continue because of these reasons. But in most cases, yeah, we haven't had like churn because they ran out of projects in this case. But the smaller ones, they always told, yes, we run out of projects. I don't want to spend money on this, but we say, okay.
What do you assume lifetime value is on these customers once you close them?
I feel what? Sorry.
What do you assume lifetime value is on these customers once you close them?
So for the smaller ones, it's between 1,500, 2,000, something like that on average. And for the bigger ones, it's way bigger. Yeah. And
last question here before we jump into the famous five. Where are you guys all based?
The headquarters it's in Stuttgart, Germany, but actually we are like a remote team, so half the team is not working here. So we have one person in Portugal, one in Spain, one in Romania, one in Russia. So it's really like all over the place. Yeah.
Very good, Nicholas. All right, let's wrap up here with the famous five. Number one, what's your favorite business book?
It's the Ultimate Learning Machine, Ultimate Sales Machine. Sorry.
Yeah, check. That's a good one. Number two, is there a CEO you're following or studying right now?
Not really, no.
Okay. Number three, besides your own, what's your favorite online tool for building your business?
Intercom. Yeah.
Number four, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
8 hours.
That's okay. That's good. And what's your situation? Married, single? Do you have kids?
I have a girlfriend since 10 years.
Oh, wow. Okay. So no kiddos yet.
Yeah.
All right. And how old are you?
I'm 31.
31. All right, Nicholas, last question. What do you wish your 20-year-old self knew?
To start a business earlier and to negotiate harder. So that's what I learned in business, I think. Yeah.
Guys, start a business earlier, negotiate harder. He saw this problem internally when he was doing marketing and sales inside of kind of agencies and such, where it was very hard to collaborate on video edits and document edits, things like that. So he launched File Stage with one of his friends back in 2015, bootstrapped the company, then raised $600,000. They now have 400 customers paying on average $100 a month, so about 40 grand in monthly recurring revenue. That's up from 5 grand in MRR just about a year ago. They've got 2 to 3% net revenue churn monthly in their enterprise cohorts, $400 CAC, so a 4-month payback period. Lifetime value is north of 2 grand, again, helping solve a very real problem with their team of 11 based between Germany and other remote locations. Nicholas, thank you for taking us to the top.
Thank you.